Hey, thanks for checking out our planters today at Boldly Growing. Now here we have our what we call our double screw raised bed. It's a very nice, almost 4x8 raised bed. We've designed this to be affordable, give you great value, but it's still going to last many years. Now one thing we will say is that it does take quite a few screws to put together. I'm going to use an electric drill to make it go much more quickly. You could use a screwdriver if you want. We definitely recommend something like this. If you're not interested in putting those screws in, then we would recommend one of our other raised beds, which is the tool-free version. Now these are quite a bit more expensive. It's going to be 1.5 inch thick wood, whereas this planter is going to have 3/4 inch thick wood, but it requires no tools. It's got metal pins. There's no hardware showing. It's really great. We think it's a great design. We love it. But it is quite a bit more expensive. So if you want something that's a little bit better value, gets you planting, but it's still gonna last, 5 to 10 years at least, this is a great option. We introduced this raised bed in the fall of 2020, and then we had a limited production run in the spring of 2021. We weren't exactly sure what the feedback was gonna be. We really liked the design, but we weren't sure if the screws were gonna be, too much for people. The feedback has been phenomenal. People love this product. They've been asking us when we're going to get more in stock. And so we're very excited to continue this one. And we just wanted to give you a quick overview. Now this is going to be an assembly video of it. So you're going to see just in a minute, I'm going to take it from the way you get it in the box to getting it into this condition. It's going to take 10 minutes, maybe 15. But in the end, you're going to get a very sturdy raised bed that's going to last for many years. Thanks for checking out our products today at Boldly Growing. Now let's go ahead and get going on the assembly so we can show you how to put it together. Okay, so I've taken the kit out and I've kind of set it out here. Now what you might notice about your kit is that we're constantly making a few little changes, and so you might see we've changed the instructions just a little bit, or we've changed the way the hardware is packaged just to make it easier for you to be able to put it together. One other change that we made was we went from a grooved side panel to just an all smooth side panel, just to give it a little bit cleaner look to match the corner pieces. But aside from that, this is pretty much the exact same kit you'll be getting. So we're going to go ahead and lay it out now. So the first thing I'm going to do, just to show you, is I'm going to lay out all the pieces. So these are the corner pieces that will be used in order to put together each of the 4 corners on the ends. And then obviously you have a fabric liner. There's 2 separate ones, one cut out for each side. You've got the hardware bag, the instructions, which I'm just going to set under there so they don't blow away. You've got the 2 middle panels, which are going to go right in the middle of the planter and kind of give it a nice clean finished look. Again, we've made these smooth for future versions, but that's what we had on this one. Then we've got the end panels. Now you can tell which ones are the end panels because they've got the small furring strips just to kind of hold them together in shipment. But there's no other divider or no other piece that goes, which you'll see on some of the other pieces. So these are panels A, and the 2 end pieces are the exact same, which you can see here that they are the same length. So I'll set these over here. Now we've got middle panels, or actually we'll call these side panels in the instructions, and you can see that these have a strip on the side, which is what will be used to kind of hold it together. And then this will go on the end. So there's going to be 4 of those, and they're all going to be the exact same. Okay, now this panel here, it looks just like A. It doesn't have anything on the ends here, but it's actually shorter. And so if I hold it up, you can see that it's about 1 inch shorter. And what this is going to be is this is going to be the divider panel that goes in the middle of everything. So we'll go ahead and keep that separate. Now that is panel D on the instructions. Now the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take panel A, which is the end panel, and we're going to go ahead and screw it to the ends. Now I like to set my drill to a low torque setting. That way I know I won't go through the other side. It is possible if you use too much torque to go ahead and drill through the other side. We've tried to make that clear in the assembly instructions, but just one more reminder. Now for most of this assembly, I'm going to use the shorter screws that come with it. And then there is just one spot where we will use the longer screws. So for this first one, I am going to need the shorter screw, and I'm going to go ahead and take it and set it up just like the instructions show. So I'm going to take this end panel and I'm actually going to move these out of the way real quick just to get some more working space. Now I'm going to take this corner panel, and you can kind of see here that there is a seam where it's connected. You can tell that the screws go through this piece, and then it's actually connected to the other piece here. Now we try to make it clear where that seam goes, and so I'm going to take that seam and I'm going to put it's going to line up with the end panel, which is going to go just like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this corner panel, I'll set these pieces to the side, take this corner panel, I'm going to line it up exactly how I want it, and then I'm going to go ahead and put in the screws. Okay, now I'm going to grab another corner panel. I'm going to do the same orientation. So this this seam is going to make a line right with the panel here. So I'm going to go like this, line it up real well, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the screws in. Okay, and then I'm going to repeat that for the other end. Now that I've got those put together, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set my end panel. Now this is where you want to start thinking about where you want your garden to be set up. So I'm actually going to make mine set up this way just because of the video and the space that I have here. But this is where you want to start with the end panel where you're going to finish with it, just to make it a little bit easier on yourself. You can move it afterwards, but it gets a little bit awkward. Okay, so I'm going to start with the end panel there, and then I'm going to take one of the side panels, and again, these are the ones that have the furring strip on there, or the trim piece. You can see it's offset a little bit, and that's because that's where the middle divider panel is going to go. Now this is always going to go towards the middle, so I've got the end of the planter over there. It's going to go this way, which means I want this piece in the middle. So this one is going to go in just like this, and then I'm going to secure it with the same shorter screws that I've been using the whole time. I haven't used any of my longer screws yet. Okay, now I'm going to repeat that for the other side. So again, I'll make sure that this piece goes towards the middle of the planter. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to take this middle divider piece and I'm actually going to put it right in the middle, creating the first square or the first box. And so I'm going to take this. It doesn't actually matter whether I do it this way or this way. These furring strips, they can go on either side of it. I'm just going to go ahead and do it this way for now. And then this is the first time that I'm going to use the longer screws. So I'm going to grab those out, and I'm going to need 2 per side. I do want to make sure that this is a nice tight fit. It'll be overlapping about halfway here. You can see on this side a little bit better. It will be overlapping, and that's normal. And then from there you want to hold it in place while you put that screw in. And you can see we've pre-drilled everything right on the inside here to make it easy for you. I'm going to repeat that. All right, once I've done that, then I can go ahead and do the next side panels. And again, this is pretty easy to figure out, but I'm going to go ahead and put this side on the middle because that is what is going to hold it in place. And then I'll use the longer screws to screw those together. Okay, we're getting close. I am going to grab the shorter screws now. And you can kind of see where this is going, but then I'm going to grab my other end panel, and this other end panel is going to go right over here, and we're going to screw it in place. Okay, now the last thing we have to assemble is going to be these side panels. Again, yours might look just a little bit different. We took out this groove, and it's just one smooth side panel. It kind of matches the corners. And this is pretty easy. These are actually, I would say they're not required. You'll still have a very strong, sturdy raised bed without them. But they do help, they do give it a little bit of extra structural integrity, and they really do, I think they really finish off the look really well. So we're going to take these, it's pretty easy. They're going to line up just like this, and then we're going to screw from the inside so you don't see any of the hardware on the outside. Now I mentioned before that you want to get it in place and kind of choose it as you're starting to assemble it. And that's true, that's the easiest thing to do. But you can move this after the fact. Now is definitely the right time before you've got soil in there, because once you put soil in, it's going to be nearly impossible to move. But you can see it is very sturdy. You know, I can pick this up and I can move it around if I need to without too much trouble, and then go ahead and put it down in place wherever I want to have it. Now the last thing to do, and this is an optional step, some people like this, some people don't, but you can put down, we've included a non-woven landscaping fabric. If you have grass underneath your planter, this will help prevent the grass from growing up through your dirt and kind of stealing some of the nutrients. But you will also lose a little bit of your planting depth. And so I think from a gardening perspective, and we've always said we're not experts on gardening, we think that we are much better at designing and producing these planters. But from a gardening perspective, I think you'll probably do a little bit better if you had bare ground, bare dirt that you just left there and gardened on top of it. But we put liners down. We've tried it without liners. Honestly, we get great results both ways. So to put this in, it's just simply a cutout fabric, and you just kind of put it in and then spread it out exactly how you want it. And then once you get the dirt in there, obviously that will hold it down in place a little bit better. So I get that down, and then I can repeat that for the other side. And that's really it. This is a very sturdy raised bed. We've tried to make this a great value, affordable, yet good quality. It's going to last many, many years. It's 3/4 inch cedar wood. If the number of screws intimidate you and you don't want to go down that road, then I highly recommend one of our tool-free raised beds. It is thicker. You are going to pay a little bit more, quite a bit more, but these will last for years and years and years, and they require no tools to assemble. So that is another option that we have. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you giving us a shot, and thanks a lot. Have a great day.